ASP is excited to announce its second annual Images of Distinction competition. All right. Hey, I want to welcome Mark Garber, one of our ASP IOD judges. Mark, how's it going?
That's a lot of initials right there.
Yes.
Going good.
Yes. Hey, Mark, do you remember your first merit or loan image?
Yeah, I do remember my first time as an entrant. Didn't know what I was doing, scared to death. Still scared to death when you enter. That hasn't changed. But yeah, I got a merit and ended up winning Best Portrait in Ohio. So that kind of started the charge and been doing it ever since.
Sweet. How long have you been a judge? Do you know?
Many, many years. It probably in the 35 range.
Okay, and
I probably say that's long enough.
Okay, and I'm going to throw something out there and just say that you are one of my top 3 people that I look up to as far as the way you judge and how you share your information and stuff. It always listening to you judge just is absolutely amazing. So I just had to throw that in there. Sorry.
Well, thank you, but you need to aim higher.
Okay.
No, I think, as you progress as a judge, I think it's almost a benefit. And I don't even know if you want me to get into this, but early on, I think judges see an image and they kind of think, they kind of look for what's wrong with it. I think that's their priority. What is this one hiding? And I think you progress from that to, I like where I'm at now because I see an image and it may not have detail in the shadows. The highlights may be blown out, but now I go, why not? Does it work? Do I need to see detail in the shadows? It's kind of a different perspective, at least for me, as you get a little bit older in the judging process. I think to start looking for why nots and just does it work? So it's kind of a lot more fun.
Gotcha. Hey, if you had to pick one element other than impact, what one jumps into your head right away?
Probably I'm going to say subject matter. How a entrant portrays that subject matter. Because I love when people create. One of the greatest things I ever heard is, take a common object, photograph it in an uncommon way. And that's kind of difficult to do, but boy, I really appreciate that. But even if it's done traditionally, how that subject matter is portrayed with the lighting, with the background, with all the elements is probably my greatest go-to endorphin release category.
Okay, so with that said, one thing that I found is that a lot of people think that a beautiful image or a beautiful subject can be a beautiful photograph, and they're not necessarily the same thing, are they?
No, they're not. I will say, being a wedding photographer, I will give so much more credit when the bride or the groom is heavy, height differences, how a photographer handles all those. To me, that is mastery of photography, and I love to reward that. So I guess the term would be plus size people.
Right.
I love when they are photographed in a wonderful way.
Gotcha. Hey, if you had one piece of advice for new competition people, or even us old farts that are, still competing, what would you suggest to make them, to help them do better in competition?
I'd probably go back to the phrase, it's only a mistake if you fail to learn from it. So you're entering competition, you're going to get some failures. I've had several in the 60s, but I learned from it. Yeah, and if you learn from it, then you're just going in a positive direction. But to stay on that positive direction, no matter what, because here is one thing that nobody can argue. Entering competition is the very best thing any entrant can do to rapidly increase their photographic skills to new levels. And you can't stop doing that. And you just see some of the greatest photographers you could ever think of still constantly entering competition. Do they need to? No, they got every degree, they got every little dingly bob, but they do that because they're not done yet. So that would be my advice.
Mark your calendars now and get ready for the ASP Images of Distinction.